Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying Algolia DevCon. For this next segment, I will show you how I use AI to go beyond documentation and build search and discovery UI in the blink of an eye. My name is Sarah Dayan. I'm a principal engineer and I've been at Algolia for 7 years. 7 years of building, 7 years helping companies build world-class search. I've worked in multiple teams, I've built hundreds of Algolia implementations, and I've debugged a fair share of them as well. So it's safe to say that I know my way around Algolia. Building an Algolia implementation consists in 3 main steps. First, you upload your data to Algolia. Then you configure your index. And finally, you build your search UI. And the main thread that ties this all together is documentation. How do I upload my data? You read the documentation. How do I configure my searchable attributes and my custom ranking? You read the documentation. How do I build a search UI in my React website? Well, you guessed it. You read the documentation. The documentation is where you start. Every step, every configuration, every best practice lives there. Being here for 7 years, I know the Algolia docs very well. I actually wrote lots of it. I know how to quickly upload my data, how to configure my search, what attributes make sense to filter on, what information is valuable for ranking. I know how to build a functional search and discovery UI, what widgets are important, what filters to put first. I don't really need the docs anymore. I can do it with a blindfold. But to be fair, I have an unfair advantage. I'm a tenured employee in a search company, and I'm surrounded by other search experts. But you don't. You have to read the docs. You have to do the work all by yourself among the ton of other tasks that are on your plate. And this made me wonder, what if this was easier? What if I could take all this knowledge and turn it into AI tools that let you go even faster than I can? Enough talking. Let me show you what I mean. So here is an Algolia index. I just uploaded it. But as you can see, it's not configured. It doesn't have like custom ranking or searchable attributes. It's just bare. And if you had to configure it yourself, the traditional path would be to spend time in the documentation. So that's a lot of decisions to make, lots of pages of documentation to check. But now watch this. I'm going to use a tool and I'm going to run this simple command. Don't try to use this API key, I already revoked it. So I'm going to run this tool on my index. And as you can see, it is analyzing the index. It is trying to sort out what could be the ideal configuration. And there we go, it's done. Everything is here. I have searchable attributes, I have custom ranking, I have attributes for faceting, and I have sorting options. I didn't have to do anything but feed it my unconfigured index. And everything is quite interesting. Like when you check searchable attributes, you can see that it only selected attributes that make sense for searching into. So no URLs, no booleans, nothing of the sort. And every time you have a reason telling you why it was picked up. When you look at the custom ranking, something that is quite interesting here is that for the first attribute, it picked up the rating Bayesian attribute. So the rating Bayesian attribute is a normalized rating, and it's much better for sorting than a raw number, because it's going to avoid biases that you have when you have very granular number. And then you have attributes for faceting, and you can see that it also detected the ones that should be searchable. You know, when you have this little search input right at the top of your refinement list, this is the configuration that you need for that. And so it detected that the brand attribute could use this, because when you have lots of brands, then you're going to have to search a little bit more. You're not going to be able to display everything. So it detected that as well. And finally, looking at the sorting option, the sortable attributes, you can see that it did not add two-way indices, two-way replicas for everything. It did do it for price, because it makes sense to try to sort by lowest prices or highest prices, but it does not make sense for something like ratings. You don't care to see the products that have the least, like the lowest rating. It does not make sense. So that's also why you don't find it here. So that's pretty smart. And so all of that is really exactly what you would have if you did spend a lot of time in the docs and learned it all by yourself. But instead of having to do that, we took all this knowledge and we transferred it in AI, in an AI tool that does it for you. So that's excellent. I didn't have to do anything. And the beautiful thing, I love this, it took 13 seconds. 13 seconds to do something that could have taken you maybe hours, maybe days, maybe weeks. That's pretty nice. And so now that I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to apply it. So yes, I want to apply those configurations. Yes, looks good to me. Beautiful. And so when I come back on my index and I refresh, I have my facets, I have my ranking, and I have my replicas, my searchable attributes. Everything is there. So that's pretty cool, right? Well, that's only the beginning. So now we have configuration, but we still need a search UI, right? So the traditional path, again, would be to go in the documentation, install libraries, select widgets, da-da-da. We don't want to do that. We don't want to spend time on that. So instead, we're going to use AI and ask it to build a search page. And this is exactly what it's doing right now. Right now, it's looking at our index, the structure of our index, our products, and it's looking at the configuration. And from that, it's going to infer the business vertical, whether it's e-commerce, media, etc. It's going to infer what it should inject in the product tile. So if there is an image, a title, things like that. It's going to determine what are the ideal widgets, what are the best layouts, what is the best placement for elements. And it's also going to fill in some gaps like placeholders or labels for sort by. It's going to do all that and generate a beautiful, actually 3 beautiful layouts that are ready to use. And there you have it. You have a functional search, you have 3 layouts that you can use. And by the way, those are not mock-ups. They are actually functional UIs. If I type dress, you can see that it works. If I want to filter on a specific brand, I can do that as well. I have my sort by, price high to low, low to high, best rated, etc. So everything is working. Everything that you would want in the UI is here. It's using the best practices, all the things we know that need to be in at least a basic UI is here, ready to use, ready to deploy. So there we go. Something that could take days, weeks, even months is now shrunk to minutes. Now, full disclosure, What I showed you here are prototypes. I built them because I kept asking myself, if I can do this in my sleep after 7 years, could AI do it in minutes? And this makes me excited about what the future could be. But to imagine the future, we need to look into the rear mirror. Algolia's mission has always been to remove the difficult parts of building search. We think everyone should be able to find without foraging. So we took search, something that used to mean managing clusters and building distributed systems or worrying about relevance algorithms, and we made it simple. Fast, distributed, relevant search for everyone. Nobody thinks twice about those low-level choices anymore. Should you use BM25 or TF-IDF? How many shards? What about replication strategies? You don't care. You trust Algolia to handle it. And this lets you begin with a massive head start. But we've abstracted one part of the journey. There is still a long way to go. There are still many things you need to figure out yourself. Decisions to take, choices to make. The gap between our promised, fast, relevant, distributed, beautiful, functional search that lets your users find without foraging, the gap between this promise and your production is still too wide. This is what UX researchers typically call user friction. User friction is what stands in the way between you and your goals. Things that are either difficult, time-consuming, or uneasy to do. Let's focus on time-consuming, on cognitive friction. Every time you need to understand our concepts, or learn our terminology, or make decisions about things you've never thought about, this is cognitive friction. That's mental energy spent on our domain instead of yours. But what if we already had all the answers to the questions we are asking you? Your data tells a story. Your index and records already contain everything we need to know. They tell us about the kind of business you're running, the products, the categories, the prices, the availability, the ratings, the popularity. They tell us what your users need and how they will search for it. We already know so much from your data alone. Great search is no longer about speed or relevance or availability. Algolia made this universal. We took what was hard and we made it easy for everyone. We made what was great then the new normal, the bare minimum. But we've never been ones to settle for normal. We aim for more. Great search is search that evolves, search that learns, search that improves based on data. Real user behavior, not intuitions or guesswork. Analytics, A/B tests, click-through rates. These are the tools that transform choice paralysis into confident decision-making. But none of this happens if you are blocked at the building stage. You cannot iterate on a search that does not exist. You cannot improve what never went live. You cannot steer a parked car. Every day your search is not live is a day of lost insights, lost data, lost opportunities to make it better. Now imagine a world where you upload your data and within minutes you get a working search that you can deploy to your website. You spend your time iterating based on real user data, not guessing at initial configurations. You focus on what makes your product unique, not on becoming a search expert. Now this is the future I want to build. Documentation has been our tool, our teacher, our standard, but we can do better. We can dare to dream about a better future. Ivan Sutherland did not settle with command line programs. He pioneered graphical user interfaces and revolutionized human computer interactions. Larry Tesler did not settle with move mode in text editors. He invented copy paste and pioneered the idea of modeless software. We don't have to settle with a world where reading pages and pages of documentation is the price to pay for reaching our goals. The best search is a living search. Motion beats perfection, and the fastest path to greatness is through good enough to ship. We have been accepting incremental improvements to the developer experience for too long. Better docs, clearer tutorials, more examples. But what if we did not need them at all? What if uploading your data was enough? What if the story your data tells is all we needed to hear? Because at the end of the day, you are not here to build search. You are here to build something amazing. Let us handle the rest. Now, before I pass on the mic, I want to leave you with something. The first part of my demo, the one where I automatically configure my index, is on GitHub for you to try. Play with it, fork it, open issues and pull requests. I'm eager to learn from your use cases. I hope you had fun. I hope you're excited. And I wish you a beautiful DevCon. Thanks for listening to me.